What's up, people? How you doing? Greetings, salutations. Just getting right into it. Thanks for being here. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on X. And we got lots to talk about, and I do want to end on time today. So, trying to start on time, end on time. I feel a little silly because I was today years old when I found out about EMFs from electric cars, which I guess makes sense because of the batteries. But I had never really heard anybody talking about this because we always hear about EMFs from cell phones, computers, cell towers. But I drive a hybrid, which is kind of an electric car. But I suppose there are reasons to worry because they're acting like it's perfectly fine, just like they do with cell phones. Right? It's fine. While, you know, a few people are screaming from the balcony, like, don't put the phone anywhere near your head or your genitals. And if you can, put it in a basket 300 yards away from you. Anyways, we'll just talk about this for just a second because I want to move on. But in case you didn't know, or in case you were wondering, electric and hybrid vehicles generate electromagnetic fields due to their high voltage batteries, power electronics, and electric motors, which produce more significant EMFs compared to conventional gasoline powered vehicles, which also emit EMFs. However, this is the part that I don't actually believe. Extensive research suggests that the EMF emissions, is it extensive? That's what I want to know. Is it really extensive? I kind of doubt it. Extensive research suggests that EMF emissions from electric vehicles are unlikely to pose a health risk to occupants. I guess they're designed with shielding, et cetera, et cetera. Here's an interesting, I'll read this paragraph and then we'll move on. Some studies have measured EMF levels in electric vehicles and found that they are generally below regulatory limits. However, there is a need for further research. So it's not extensive. Further research to fully understand the health implications of EMF exposure in electric vehicles, particularly during the charging process. So that contradicts this paragraph, the beginning paragraph that says extensive research has been done. So, yeah, not so much. Bella says AC motors vary the frequency from 0 to tens of kilohertz to drive the induction motor. Yeah, sure. Yeah. You betcha. Yeah, sure. You betcha. So, well, you learn something new every day, or you think about something new every day, I guess. Here we are doing flood videos, man. Whenever this decides to happen. The drawback to StreamYard is that it kind of tends to slow everything down, which Rumble did not. So two checks in the column for Rumble, the free Rumble Studio over StreamYard. Granted, StreamYard has a lot of bells and whistles that Rumble doesn't have. I guess being free would be another check in the column for Rumble. Iran reached a searing 125.8 Fahrenheit yesterday, the earliest 52C ever recorded on Earth. Just insane. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, and it's like 80 degrees here. What's wrong with me? Somebody says check out Tip Valley. Okay. Anyways, May 21st, I guess. That's the earliest there. Yeah, it would be interesting, Bella, to see what it rates on the meter in my car. It's a 2012 Prius. I wonder if they have any of those public readings out there that you can find. Anyways. So super hot in Iran. New South Wales being flooded again. Second major flood for Australia in the last couple of months. New South Wales is grappling with some of the worst flooding in living memory. The city of Taree is practically underwater with 48,000 people cut off, potentially for weeks. So that ain't nothing nice. And Italy also getting it. They've been getting it last few days or last week. Hit by the weather machine or whatever it is. Whatever's causing all this calamity. I saw a band named the Weather Machine. I thought that's a good name for a band. That's Italy. Yikes. Goodbye. Okay, there's a link. There's a link for that. Thanks, man. I don't know how much this is going to slow everything down. What's they got to say? Wow. Okay. High current values up to several hundred amperes can be the source of significant values of the fields affecting the organisms of passengers. Okay. Well, already doesn't sound good. I'm just trying to scan through this a little bit. Let's see. Okay. I'm just looking through this real quick. Sorry for the silence. No, I don't have a pacemaker. Not yet. They say there was a surprise Senate vote, and I'm not sure how much of a surprise it was. There's a bill going through the Congress about taxes and other things, debt and whatnot. But apparently, the Senate voted to put forward the bill that says no more taxes on your tips or overtime, which is pretty good. In a rare display of bipartisan unity, the U.S. Senate unanimously passed the No Tax on Tips Act on May 20th, 2025. This legislation aims to eliminate federal income taxes on tips, a move that could significantly impact millions of American workers in the service industry. I mean, I'd count that as a positive, I guess. The bill now heads to the House of Representatives for consideration. Is the audio glitchy to anybody else? Because I can unplug and replug or refresh the screen if the audio is bothering you. Let me know. To qualify, these tips must be reported. Oh, hold on. Under the legislation, workers can deduct up to $25,000 in reported cash tips from the federal income taxes. Okay, so that's not quite all tips, right? To qualify, these tips must be reported to employers for payroll tax withholding purposes. So there you go. Still going to have that going on. This deduction is available to employees earning $160,000 or less in 2025, with this threshold set to adjust for inflation in subsequent years. This change means that many service workers, such as wait staff, bartenders, and delivery drivers, could see a noticeable increase in their take-home pay. Anyways, I guess this is a good thing. It's not completely law yet, so it's got to go through the House. So there's a good chance it'll pass. Creative says, if you still have a job after August, the doom. Meanwhile, Trump unveils the $175 billion Golden Dome missile shield project. He wants to be just like Israel. He wants to be just like the kings of the Middle East and get him his own Iron Dome missile defense shield. Didn't we make the Iron Dome for them? I feel like it was our doing. Caleb says strippers make way more than 25K. Yeah. There's that. Anyways, he wants an Iron Dome. He needs protection from Russians, aliens, the Chinese. U.S. President Donald Trump announced Tuesday a $175 billion missile defense system dubbed the Golden Dome, appointing U.S. Space Force General Michael Gutlein to lead what Trump described as a Manhattan Project-scale initiative. During the Oval Office announcement, flanked by U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Gitlein, Trump revealed that the project would be completed within 3 years and would protect the entire continental United States, including Canada, which will be the 51st state soon, from aerial threats, Xinhua news agency reported. It is a great day for America, Trump declared, seated beside a poster showing the continental U.S. painted gold with artistic depictions of missile interceptions. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. It will be capable of detecting, tracking, and intercepting incoming missiles. Don't we already have NORAD? Doesn't NORAD already do that? They're supposed to do that. They were supposed to keep those pesky planes out of the Twin Towers a couple of years ago, and they didn't really do that, did they? There's a operational glitch for you. Did Doge defund NORAD? Why would you do it? Steph C says Star Wars. Yep. You got to make America great. When you make America great, you got to have space missiles for your defense. Anyways, Trump touted the system would be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. The project represents a substantial evolution from what was initially announced as the Iron Dome for America in the administration's first week, before being renamed Golden Dome by the Pentagon in February, possibly due to trademark concerns with Israel's existing Iron Dome system. Trademark concerns? Okay. Gitlein previously served as Vice Chief of Space Operations with the U.S. Space Force and has extensive experience in missile defense and space-based capabilities. The $175 billion price tag announced by Trump fell significantly below earlier Congressional Budget Office estimates, which suggested the system could cost between $161 billion and $542 billion Yikes. Over the next 20 years, according to Bloomberg. Guess which one it's going to be closer to? Just guess which. Yeah, no time to think about it. Quick, guess. I think it's going to be closer to the 500 billion. If I were going to guess. Questions about the project's technical feasibility. According to Space Force officials quoted in various news reports, technology would rely heavily on space-based sensors and interceptors to provide early detection and rapid response capabilities. Proponents argue that modern technology would make this concept more viable, unlike previous missile defense concepts such as the Strategic Defense Initiative of former U.S. President Ronald Reagan. Opponents caution that weaponizing space risks a new arms race and undermines decades-old arms control treaties. I think it's already happening. I think it's already a done deal. The Union of Concerned Scientists Research Director Laura Grego described the plan as fantasy in a statement released this January, warning that adversaries could develop countermeasures to defeat a space-based shield. So, all right, that's happening. That is a good question, Osama. One thinking people often ask. I'm wondering about all the weapons we have and all the missiles we have. Isn't it fun to fill the world with weapons? And leave everybody on a hair trigger? Whatever happened to the India-Pakistan war that was about to pop off? Still popping off? Oh, I have that twice. Oh, I have this twice. Why do I have this twice? I don't know. Meanwhile, well, I'm sure a lot of that's going to have to do with like Starlink, and they're going to tie that all together with some. Those sensors are all going to be AI driven. Well, let's see. Bella says, according to the AP, China and Russia have put offensive weapons in space, such as satellites with abilities to disable critical U.S. satellites, which can make the U.S. vulnerable to attack. You don't buy it. Okay. I mean, I assume that all these countries are all doing the same stuff, the same research. And what about the hypersonic missiles that Russia supposedly has? How do you defend against those? Apparently there's nothing to defend against those, but you know, we haven't seen any reenactment of Red Dawn yet. They aren't space-based. This is a post saying it's over now. Robots are going to replace humans. I think everybody kind of assumed that was so. A thread on robots replacing human jobs. Amazon now uses 750,000 plus robots replacing over 100,000 workers, possibly due to rising wages. And when they get those electric robo vans going, Are you talking about Starlink, Bella? Got it. Anyways, we'll watch this for just. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go through this thread real quick, but let's look at that. Let's look at this link from Reuters. Musk's SpaceX is front runner to build Trump's Golden Dome missile shield. Well, yeah. I mean, he's already got, all of the defense contracts, or a large share of them. How about some more? Oh, hold on, guys. What the heck? What the heck? Probably Creative Experiment says now Amazon will finally install air conditioning to cool those robot motors from overheating. Look, it's a big missile in the sky. Zoom, zoom. Here it goes, zooming. He looks like a 5-year-old. And they're all like, this is great. This is very serious. Very serious presentation. Oh, look at it. It's shiny. All right. SpaceX is leading a bid to build Golden Dome with startups Anduril and Palantir. Oh my God. The axis of evil. SpaceX, Anduril, and Palantir. I knew it was going to be AI driven. Pitching the Pentagon on a subscription model for missile defense, sources said. Only $6 billion a month. If you pay for the whole year, it's only $55 billion. What a cost savings there. Musk's rocket and satellite company is partnering with software maker Palantir and drone builder Anduril on a bid to build key parts of the Golden Dome. Great. In his January 27th executive order, Trump cited a missile attack as the most catastrophic threat facing the United States. All three companies were founded by entrepreneurs who have been major political supporters of Trump. Well, what do you know? They get the contracts. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. In an unusual twist, SpaceX has proposed setting up its role in the Golden Dome as a subscription service in which the government would pay for access to the technology rather than own the system outright, meaning that they could just sell it to the highest bidder or not renew the subscription or do their own things with it, right? When the government of the United States is finally wiped away and the government of SpaceX becomes the ruler of the planet, well, this will come in handy. SpaceX, uniting the planet forever. Okay, interesting. Let's move forward, shall we? Friends and neighbors. Japanese. Oh, well, let's go back to this robot thread. Robots are taking over household work, tidying up, ding, 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 taking out the trash, going on the elevator. This is fun. It's fun to clean the bathroom if you're a robot. Man, that robot's got skills. Only $40,000 for this model. Restroom cleaning robot. Didn't we just watch that? All right. Two robots are busy folding towels in a hotel. Will this mean that we can go back to having regular checkout times like noon again? Or maybe regular check-in times like noon again? I mean, I assume these longer windows of downtime that hotels have are because there's a shortage of cleaning people. They just don't have the money to pay for the cleaning people. Like, what? These hotels are multi-billion-dollar businesses, and they don't have money to pay for an extra couple of cleaning personnel. But they'll get some robots. So maybe our checkout time will go back to noon instead of 10 a.m. New checkout times 10 a.m. and check-in times are now 3 p.m. So it'll just get worse, right? Oh, you got to check out by 8. Get the hell out of here. And now you can check in at 5 or 6. Not trying to give anybody ideas. A robot serving gas in China. Whoa. Like, I can't even get out of my car to pump the gas. Mini card reader robot? Oh, card dealer, sorry. Oh, okay. Well, that's no fun. It's fun to deal cards. Jesus. Who needs a robot to do that for you? An autonomous robot assembling a 5-meter tower for future lunar and Martian habitats. Sure. Okay. Lunar habitats. A fully autonomous robot that helps in drawing the road signs. Well, okay. I guess that's kind of handy. I guess. A Japanese robot that can play basketball better than a human player. He's cheating, by the way. What? Crazy. Yeah, but his dribble game is really lacking. A police patrolling robot. All right. Well, that's interesting and frightening. All those things. If a restaurant robot is urinated on, can and does it clean itself? Puff Puff Give is a social grace. Do not bogart the joint. Puff Puff Pass. Puff Puff Pass. You fucking up the rotation. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, this is from a couple days ago, and I think Osama sent me this. This is interesting. We'll just read this a little bit. For anybody that didn't know this happened, I didn't know this happened. I guess on top of Jeffrey Epstein still being alive and on his island, because why else would you own an island? Because when you escape jail, you gotta have somewhere to go. Oh, it just so happens I have my own island. Apparently, Diddy had his own island too. Maybe I'll play that one. Jeffrey Epstein's mystery bank came alive after his death, receiving millions of dollars from his estate. I wonder what's going on here. In the years after Jeffrey Epstein registered as a sex offender, he closed his money management firm and started a business to develop algorithms and mine DNA in financial databases. Yo. He was really tapped into the future. Then he set up a bank. In a banking license application reviewed by the New York Times, Epstein described himself as one of the investing world's pioneers and said he wanted to pursue the dynamic discipline of international banking. Jeffrey Epstein, international banker. Dun, dun, dun. Officials in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. territory where Epstein set up most of his businesses, it makes sense, approved a license for him in 2014 to run one of the territory's first international banking entities, a specialized bank that can do business only with offshore clients. I wonder why. The approval was unusual given Epstein's status as a convicted sex offender. The bank, called Southern Country International, we'll take it from here, renewed its license for each of the next 5 years, but it is unclear whether it conducted any business or had any customers. Epstein, who died while in federal custody last summer, died following his arrest on sex trafficking charges, does not appear to have done any marketing for the bank or hired much staff. Just robots. Let's keep reading. The bank was created under a territorial law that lacked many of the oversight requirements banks are usually subject to, and its regulatory file is largely empty. A lawyer for Epstein told officials in the Virgin Islands in 2018 that Southern Country had not commenced operation. Regulators in the territory said they did not exercise oversight of the bank because it did not appear to be doing any business. Just an empty bank. Nothing to see here. And yet, after Epstein's death, his estate transferred more than $12 million to Southern Country, according to court documents. Wow. How does it do that? How does his estate do that? How does it do that? A lawyer for the estate responded that some of the payment was made in error. Hold on, let's go back. On Tuesday, a court hearing in the Virgin Islands on motions involving Epstein's estate, a magistrate judge, Carolyn Herman Purcell, questioned the estate's lawyers about the transfers to Southern Country, saying the disclosure was not satisfactory. The judge said she did not know why Southern Country would be receiving checks from the estate. There's no explanation for it. Other than that, I wonder. The checks listed in the estate's transactions for routine payments such as cable TV bills and phone service for Epstein's many properties stand out. The list of payments was filed with Herman Purcell, who was overseeing his $635 million estate, including the possible establishment of a compensation fund for his victims. That Epstein was able to get a banking license in the first place is unusual. Usually sex offenders aren't allowed to do such things, but we made an exception. Because it was way above everybody's pay grade, apparently. Anyways. Records filed by the estate indicate that Southern Country had $693,000 in assets when Epstein died August 10th. Then, in mid-December, the estate transferred $15 million to Southern Country in 2 checks. Southern Country sent back $2.6 million, leaving the total it received as $12.9 million. It is not clear what Southern Country did with that money. 2 weeks later, the year-end value of Southern Country's assets was $499,000. It went in, it went out. All right. Man, interesting story. And leaves more questions than answers. What? The Times of Israel is reporting that Jeffrey Epstein-linked accounts transferred funds to Noam Chomsky. Oh, Noam been a bad boy. Noam been a very bad boy. What's the deal with Noam Chomsky and Jeffrey Epstein? Or, fool, what is your problem? All right. That is weird, right? It's weird. Oh, Japanese MP Haraguchi has deeply personal reason for demanding the COVID shots be banned. Let's look at this. Guys, if you like the show, if you want to support the show needs your support always, every day, all day, every day. Lots of ways to support the show in the description boxes of whatever channel you're watching on, or the link tree on X on my profile. All the usual places are there that you can contribute to: PayPal, Venmo, CashApp, Zelle. Buy me a coffee, Ko-Fi. I've frozen again. Sorry, don't mind me. I can still talk though, I guess. Patreon and or Substack. All of those things are totally acceptable. Many of you support the show on the regular. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is from 2023. Oh. Oh, you're gonna have to. It's no wonder that Noam Chomsky has kind of fallen from grace as the leading, lefty anti-establishment thinker person that he has long been. Sorry if I'm a little, if my picture is a little. Anyways, that's very interesting. Okay. Apparently, they found a spike protein in the cancer cell of his malignant lymphoma. This is Japanese MP Haraguchi.
これ今度論文になります。2年前に採取した僕のがん細胞で、これ何かって11ページ、12ページですけど、実験をしました。東京の北里大学研究所で。で、そこでですね、何が分かったかというと、私は、この N タンパクがない。ということはコロナにはかかってない。S タンパクが僕のがん細胞に広がっていた、微慢性に。つまり、S タンパクによってがんが発症した可能性が極めて高いという実験結果です。これはまだ査読されてません。で、アメリカではもうすでにですね、このコロナワクチンになるものがワクチンと言ってたけど違うものだと。だから、HHS の長官になられたロバート・F・ケネディさんは各国にこのワクチン政策を見直すようにということを言っています。これ今度論文になります。2年前に採取した僕のがん細胞で、これ何かって11ページ、12ページですけど、実験をしました。東京の北里。
Okay, well, I mean, Bobby Kennedy, who was instrumental in pointing out the dangers of and the problems with mRNA and the COVID vaccines and all that kind of stuff, and he was kind of became a bit of a hero in the field of reporting on this, and then ended up being HHS head or Secretary of Health. From Polly St. George, this should terrify you. Today, Secretary Kennedy met with leaders at the forefront of health technology, innovators creating wearable devices, AI tools, and personalized apps that empower Americans to take control of their health. These breakthroughs are key to our mission to make America healthy again by shifting the focus from sick care to health care prevention and real-time health insight. Oh, AI is going to make you healthy. I see. Apps, real-time apps tracking your health is going to make you healthy. Okay. Okay. Wearable devices are going to make you healthy. Okay. Getting in there on the cutting edge of AI health. That's Bobby Kennedy. Huh. Again, I say, huh. Let's see. Trump talked to Putin about a ceasefire. He said, sounds like a good idea. Maybe we should stop, but I don't know, maybe we can sell some more weapons, first. They're calling that Putin and Trump, they're calling it a bromance. Called him about a ceasefire, but Russia attacks Ukraine with drones after Trump-Putin call. So there's still skirmishes. There's supposedly been talks about ending the war, but they just can't figure out how they're going to do that. Steph C says, I know so many people that bought those watches and rings. I would not touch them. Yeah. And I actually recently got a new phone and it keeps asking me about, whether I want to, sign up for the health tracking app. And I'm like, heck no. Hecky no. All right, real quick. Lastly, we're going to talk about this article. Did Osama send this one to me too? I think you did. The genocide is about oil. This is from 2023. So about a year and a half old. Given the billions of barrels worth of oil in Palestine, some advocates believe that fossil fuels are influencing Israeli attacks or Israel's attacks. I'm not going to read this whole thing. The pro-Israel politicians and officials have framed the offense as a war against Hamas. Some pro-Palestine advocates throughout the Middle East don't buy that message. They believe another interest is behind the violence, fossil fuels. This genocide is not about the claims of Israel protecting itself, said Shireen Talat, founder and director of MENAFEM, Movement for Economic Development and Ecological Justice, which approaches the climate crisis in the Middle East, North Africa region through a feminist lens. This genocide is about oil. Both off the coast and beneath the occupied lands of Palestine, over 3 billion barrels of oil are estimated to exist, according to a 2019 UN report. These numbers don't even include the gas potential in Palestine. The Levant Basin, which sits in the Mediterranean, is estimated to have some 1.7 million barrels of oil, while over 1.5 billion barrels are estimated to lie beneath, 1.7 billion barrels. 1.5 billion barrels are estimated to lie beneath the occupied West Bank area that Handala calls home. Despite the billions of dollars these resources offer, if extracted, Handala would prefer the oil and gas stay where they are. The world cannot afford more fossil fuel extraction. Yeah. We want more clean energy. I don't know about that one. Can't get clean energy without more oil, so can't really have... What we want is less energy consumption. That's a hard one to put on a protest banner, though. What do we want? Less stuff. When do we want it? Now. See people marching down the street for that. What do we want? No thing. When do we want it? Now. Okay. Nothing. Well, there's also the theory that they want to build another, like a canal to parallel the Suez Canal there through the area, right up and on through Israel. So there's multiple reasons why they want the area cleared for optimal resource extraction. Yep. Turning off the health tracking app. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Creative experiments. I had to uninstall AI Google Core off my phone after I installed it without my knowledge. Ooh. Let me see if I can. I'm going to have to get in there and get rid of that if that's happening. It's about oil. It's about power. It's about all kinds of things. I wouldn't say it's only about oil. You know, it's a good take. So many things going on there. Multiple layers of messing about, doing the mess around. Really. Satanic indeed. What's wrong with these people? Well, that's a whole other show. All right, guys, that does it for me. I'm going to wrap it up. I don't know if I have anybody to thank today or as of yet. I do appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you tuning in on the daily. And I will be back tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific. Just a heads up, on Friday, I'm going to do the show an hour earlier at 11 Pacific. I'll let you guys know again tomorrow. So on Friday, 11 Pacific, but tomorrow, regular time, noon Pacific. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, peace out.